The Pittsburgh Steelers have finally made a decision on their starting quarterback for Week 1. On Wednesday, it was announced that veteran quarterback Russell Wilson won the starting job for the Steelers, beating out former Bears quarterback Justin Fields. This was a huge decision that we were all waiting for because the quarterback competition between the two was pretty neck and neck throughout the preseason. But now there's two big questions that arise from this decision. The first one is, what does this mean for the Steelers? This is a team that hasn't had a losing season since the forward pass was invented. Could this be the year that happens? And the second question is, what does this mean for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? Both quarterbacks are attempting to revive their careers. Is there a scenario where they both can do that? I'll be answering all of those questions later, but first I want to start with what this means for the Steelers and their chances of winning this season. Here's the thing. Russell Wilson gives the Steelers the best chance of winning a Super Bowl this year. I don't think they will win the Super Bowl this year, but they have a much better chance of doing it with Russ than they do with Justin Fields. Plain and simple. He's more experienced. He actually has won a Super Bowl, which Mike Tomlin did say played a factor in his decision. And if you just compare what they did last year, Russell Wilson had a better passer rating, completed a higher percentage of his passes, threw a touchdown on a higher percentage of his throws, threw for more yards per game, had a lower interception percentage. He simply was a better quarterback last year than Justin Fields was. And when you look at what they both did in the preseason, neither one really outplayed the other, so you kind of have to go based off of last year. So I do think that they made the right decision in going with Russell Wilson. But is this the year that Mike Tomlin's historic beef with losing records will come to an end? Almost all of the logic in me wants to say yes. They have the third toughest schedule in the NFL, and they play in the toughest division in the entire league, and I don't think it's particularly close. But they played in the toughest division in the NFL last year as well. They also fired their offensive coordinator in the middle of the year, which was the first mid-season coaching change in Steelers history. They had Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph at quarterback. They still made the playoffs. And I don't care what anyone says, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are both infinitely better than Kenny Pickett ever has been or will be. Kenny Pickett was probably the most ineffective quarterback that I've ever witnessed. The guy just did absolutely nothing. He wasn't even always bad, he just never played an impact on the game whatsoever. At least with other bad quarterbacks, they're fun to watch even though they might throw 3 interceptions. But Pickett, he was just nothing, and I have no doubt that Russ is an immediate upgrade. So honestly, I don't think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers' losing season repellent is going to wear off this season. They got better. They improved at the most important position in the sport. The Steelers are still going to play really good defense, and they're still going to run the ball effectively. All Russell Wilson has to do is take good care of the football and make the big plays whenever it's needed, which is exactly how Russ had so much success in Seattle. Now, what does this mean for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? They're both in Pittsburgh attempting to revive their careers. However, with Russ winning the starting job, it appears as though Justin Fields isn't going to get the chance to prove himself, and he's just going to evolve into an exciting backup. But what about the chance of a 2-quarterback system? This is what Mike Tomlin had to say about that on the Rich Eisen show.
Is there a Justin Fields package still, do you think?
Hey, my friend Raheem Morris better be ready for a Justin Fields package. I'll just say that.
That's right. There's a chance that Justin Fields gets some playing time this year. In recent memory, we've seen a 2-quarterback system only somewhat work once in New Orleans with Taysom Hill. But Hill is also featured as a pass catcher sometimes within the Saints offense, and I don't think that Justin Fields is going to be running routes anytime soon. I think this could just be a way for Mike Tomlin to keep defensive coordinators on their toes, forcing them to game plan for the possibility of 2 quarterbacks playing in the same game. But honestly, I don't expect to see Fields too much this season. I remember hearing that the Titans were going to try to do this a few years ago with Ryan Tannehill and Marcus Mariota. That simply just never ended up happening. And that the 49ers were going to try to do something like that with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, but that never ended up happening either. I highly doubt that the Steelers will attempt to have a 2-quarterback system. I do think that we will see Justin Fields play this season, but not in any significant amount. But even though I am skeptical of the Steelers' Justin Fields package that they they claim to have this year, I don't think that Fields' career is over. I think obviously he has to capitalize on any limited chances that he gets on the field this year, but I also think it's really important for him to stay patient and learn behind Russell Wilson, because he'll get a chance to start again eventually. I think Fields is taking a very similar career path to Marcus Mariota. Mariota was a first-round pick, he was a dynamic playmaker, but he also didn't consistently play well, and he was eventually replaced by Ryan Tannehill. He then spent time as a backup quarterback behind Derek Carr in Vegas, and after playing well in limited playing time, he earned his chance to start again in Atlanta. Now, he didn't capitalize on that opportunity, but he did receive it, and I think Fields might have to take a similar path, where he might have to be a backup for a couple years before earning his chance to start again. He's still only 25 years old, so there's so much time for him to turn it around. And for Russell Wilson, this is the perfect chance for him to repair his broken reputation after a failed stint in Denver. He's playing for a franchise that has been allergic to losing, and he doesn't have to put this team on his back and carry them to victory like he did in his final years in Seattle and throughout his time in Denver. Like I said earlier, he just has to play point guard for the Steelers, take care of the ball, and make the plays when it's there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole situation. How do you think the Steelers are going to do this year? And how do you think that Mike Tomlin's decision will affect the trajectory of Justin Fields' career and Russell Wilson's? And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it will go a long way in helping me create the best quality NFL content for all of you. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.